Hello, everybody. This is Nicholas Ashbaugh with my lovely assistant here, Apollo, wishing everybody a happy December. Can you believe we're finally at the last month of the year? Thank you, everybody, for choosing a great topic this week. We're going to be looking at messages from your angels and guides. One thing that I like when we include the angelic realm is that everything's elevated. So even if there's something that we need to deal with or that is a little bit, normally something that we'd be avoiding, usually it comes through with a message of hope and clarity. So I'm going to put down Apollo and we're going to get started. There we go, buddy. All right. As always, he'll probably be active behind me as I'm doing that. Again, my name is Nicholas Ashbaugh. This is a collective reading. That means that everybody that is here is welcome to be a part of this. So I hope you guys are doing great. And again, great to see everybody. All right, let me just double check, make sure the connection's coming through. It looks like you guys can see me loud and clear. All right, so we're going to begin with some channeled messages. And the channeled messages basically are things that come through in dreams. And the night before I do a major reading like this, I set an intention to receive things that will help provide some clarity. And cyclical energy was coming through. It's kind of interesting because if you happen to watch my all of my daily reads, we did get the Eight of Cups this week, and in fact, I featured it in the cycle sort of energy. So we'll talk about that in just a second. Actually, it's right here. So I have this card from the Dali deck here that shows someone either walking toward or away from something, and I got this sort of, it's almost like a light switch going on and off, flickering energy, and I thought to myself, okay, it's time here. That's what it was in my head when I woke up at that moment. It's time to decide. So this could be sort of you vacillating or kind of like going back and forth on a decision. Should I do this? Should I not do this? This could be a relationship where a person comes in and out of your life. This could just be you kind of feeling like you're stuck between like hitting the start button on something and really beginning. So whatever it is, allow yourself in this week in particular to walk toward that and away from indecision. All right. One thing that could be helping you out this week is cutting ties with something. So I got a little bit of a legal energy on this one for some of you. There could be a document that requires signature. So for some of you, it could legitimately be like divorce, or it could be writing a resignation letter, something where you're saying, I'm done, and you sign on the line. It could also be an acceptance. They work in a very similar energy, and ends and beginnings, but I saw a contract and a signature. So in order to be able to move towards something, you might have to say goodbye to something this week. And ends and beginnings are very supportive energies. And so whenever something does come to a close, it should provide also the sense of hope. What's next? What can I do now with the time that I have? Okay. And I said here, I think it's also about getting closure on things. So some of you may just simply need to feel like either you've been heard or you've been seen, or that you're now allowed to, maybe you tuned in today just to kind of hear spirit say, it's okay to move on. And whenever you're grieving something, this is also a thought that will go through your head. Is it okay? Am I allowed? Yes, you're allowed. Of course you are. We continue. The journey continues here. And then the last one was really kind of bizarre, and I love that whenever I get bizarre symbology in dreams. But I saw this notebook with all these sort of scribblings, and I got the feeling it was from a class. But for those of you that have been in a college or even high school class before and you've been kind of nodding off, when I was looking at the writing, it kind of looked like that because it would just kind of, so it felt like there was something that you had become bored with in your life, a lesson that you were kind of, again, over, and you were holding on to. It was in the notebook, and there were all these scarab beetles coming out, and the guide said it's time to let go. And you're like, but the notes, and then they're like, you already learned it. You don't need the notes. You can't even read the notes. So to me, a scarab beetle is a very good sign. It's showing death and rebirth. So there's a common theme. Spirit just showed it to me in 2 or 3 ways. Now, there was also a very special component to this one. Some of you it felt like I saw like something in the realm of physical therapy or increased physical activity. And in this case, there's something routine, like you have to break up the routine because the body gets used to stuff. And so the sleepy energy that I was seeing in the scrawling also has to do with the body being bored with whatever you're doing. So try a different thing. Standard disclaimer always applies on this. I'm a tarot reader, but I pick up on, I'm a medium too, so I do my best to interpret it. But if you're changing up your routine, obviously you want to work with a healthcare professional on that one as well. Okay? All right, so some really cool, clear energy coming through on that. I hope it helps you. And now we're going to get into a 7-day forecast. And just like it sounds, we're going to look at the week ahead. I already have a deck here on the table, this Universal Celtic Tarot, so I think I'm going to work with that one. And let's begin. As I might not have said this already, so I'm going to say it now. What you see in this reading is for everybody. There will be an elemental breakdown here in just a little bit, where we'll take a deeper dive into the signs. But otherwise, this is a collective, and collective is everybody. All right, let's close our eyes for a second, focus on the next 7 days, and see what we need to focus on. Nice energy on Tuesday. Okay, let's get these all set up here, and let me get the day markers so that it's easier to follow. And we're going to begin with this Sunday. Today, we have the Page of Cups in reverse. Many of you today are working on letting go emotionally of something. So there were a lot of different symbols this week for release. It all begins with the heart. We have to kind of focus on why we're feeling the way we're feeling, and also just allow the feeling to be present. So first and foremost, just sort of sitting with your heart for a second today. Before you get too wrapped up, and I know that some of you in Europe, you're like, Nicholas, it's the end of the day. So if you're in the UK or if you're in another part of the world or whatever, just you can meditate on this before bed. And even if you get this the next day, just take a moment and think, how do I feel in this moment? How do I feel about yesterday? Is it good? What can I do to kind of connect more with that feeling of, feeling inspired? If there's any lethargic energy, where did it come from? How long has it been there? Really kind of just do an internal audit, because sometimes we go on autopilot and that cyclical energy needs to break. So when you examine the emotion and then you triangulate where that emotion came from, then you can end a cycle. And that's basically that. There could be a creative sort of download coming through, because now if we turn the Page of Cups in the upright position, it's a receiving card. So once you've worked on this and clear it, you can actually receive. You can do this in the same day. You don't have to stay reversed all day. So once you kind of like address the emotional stuff, then you can refocus the satellite, because I like to look at cups not just like a cup, but it can be like a satellite dish where you're putting your energy. And then you can channel today. You can do some creative activities. Great day to meet people, but focus on sorting out your emotions first so that you're entering into that meeting with a clean slate. That's pretty much everything for today, for Sunday. All right, let's get the work week started. Looking at tomorrow, it's a day to get organized. We've got the Chariot card coming through. So Chariot card is good for leadership, good for business, good for organization. Many of you may find yourself in the throes of a lot, and you've got to kind of figure out how to rein it in. That's the other thing. We can see this Chariot rider trying to get those horses in the same direction at the same time. It's also fighting for what matters and really putting some energy behind it, because this is a battle card too sometimes, if you think of like old Roman chariots or whatever. So if there's something you really want, go for it. It's not like you have to like legitimately, literally fight. It's just saying, I'm going to do everything I can to manifest and to make this happen. It's a productive day. It's a busy day. Stay organized, stay focused, get an agenda together. I think it's good to start the week off with a to-do list. So you can do it tonight, you can do it tomorrow. Just make sure that you have an idea of what you're trying to accomplish. And then that way you can rein in those horses, hopefully in a more kind of organized way. You heard me say it when I pulled the card. I really like Tuesday. We've got the Star card coming through. It could be some really good news, by the way. There could be something that's very much aligned with your goals and your plans. The Star invariably is a very, very positive card. Spiritual growth, ideation, inspiration, all kinds of things coming through. And this is also a day for manifestation. So even if something hasn't started, plant a seed. This is a very, very good day to begin anew or to dust something off from that. I forgot to mention it. Let me pull that slide up a little bit because this was one piece of it that's very much appropriate for today. So thanks, Spirit, for reminding me. Let me just go back a slide. So I mentioned that there were some things in the book that maybe deserved to be looked at again. So an old idea might be something that provides new inspiration as we're looking at the energy of Tuesday. So if you're like, wait a second, wasn't I going to do this? And you have something in a book or an old email or something like that, go back to it and you're going to find a new sort of new inspiration, new light as well. Okay. People could also be looking to you on this day. This is a great day for public speaking, being in front of crowds, being seen. It's not a day to hermit. So I would say if you can get out there, do it, and you have a good chance of being successful. So far, highlight of the week. All right, midweek. A card I just pulled in one of my dailies, the King of Wands reversed. Now, it was upright when I pulled it in the daily, but this is, we're now looking at the week ahead here. So for Wednesday, what might happen for some of you is being stuck in a certain way of doing something. It changes its frequency when it's reversed. So the encouragement at the midweek point is to stay open-minded, to explore, and not to overthink, because in the upright, very good leader, very good sort of inspiration and channeler, but when reversed, sometimes overthinking and getting in his own way. So stay open to ideas, to feedback, to criticism, try new things, and don't get stuck. Also, you could be meeting with someone or interacting with someone who's really bossy. And it's hard sometimes when someone comes forth with that. When they're like, no, this is the only way to do it. It actually can be off-putting. Take a deep breath and ask them, just say, can I finish what I was saying first? Because sometimes people aren't aware of the way that they come across. And you could just say, that was intense. Can I finish what I'm saying? And then we can have a chance to see if there's a middle ground. But sometimes it's their way or the highway. And remember, this is a week where it may not be worth the energy on some of these things. So that could just be a great illustration that this is not like partnership. You can infer from the word partnership that it's give and take. If someone is just pushing their agenda, that's not your partner. They want to kind of boss you on this. And I'm using partner in the broadest of terms. So this could be business partner, a partner in even like if they're trying to help you with things, if it's just telling you, it's not helping you. There needs to be some listening as well. The only time that's really, really appropriate, it's really never appropriate. Even if it is like a coach, a teacher, or a doctor, they still need to listen to you and understand where you're at before kind of putting that out there. Okay, so that's the energy around Wednesday. Stay open-minded, maybe pull back a little bit from people that aren't listening before barking an order, etc. The good news for you, though, is if you have to stand your ground, you have a good chance of doing it. Remember to kind of take a half step back so that you're not coming on too strong. That's the only thing to be mindful of. All right, let's take a look at the energy of Thursday. We have the Seven of Cups. This one used to throw me off because it does not look like the normal Seven of Cups. It almost reminds me more of Seven of Wands than Seven of Cups. But so we see all of the cups here, a dragon, and then this person standing before it. I get what they're going at with this because sometimes the options in front of us can feel like the dragon, very daunting, right? And we feel also like, I want to protect all my ideas. I want to try all of these things. So this is the day to make a decision. And sometimes that dragon that we're fighting is just ourselves. We're worried about getting started. I recently had a project that I had to just begin and get over fear. We all experience that fear or anxiety or disappointment or frustration because you have a vision of what you want it to be and you have to sort of like roll with the punches. I'm like, okay, well now it's going to be this instead. And what am I waiting for? And so once I got to that, I felt really good after I connected with someone that was going to help me out. So sometimes you just have to get out of your own way. So that's my message for Thursday. Get out of your own way and basically make your mind up and sort of take a first step in that direction, okay? Definitely the overthinking energy hitting midweek. Lots of movement at the beginning of the week. The stagnation actually comes from your thoughts or your emotions. So the more you can tune into that today and tomorrow, the better. And then you can just use this for leadership and brainstorming, because this can be a card of brainstorming. Just too many ideas, too many different, there might be a lack of leadership coming through also on Thursday, which you need to be aware of. Okay, let's look at Friday, which I quite like, even in the reverse. So the Magician card is basically reminding you can do this. This is a jack of all trades, meaning that you can connect with all of these different things in your virtual toolbox. You know, some of you may have gone to school for a certain thing. You might have had some experience with, maybe a parent did something and you learned a certain skill from them. And all of these sort of random things now come together and you're perfectly aligned for whatever opportunity is in front of you. It's just a matter of belief. So disbelief is the first thing. A magician or a high priestess reverse, they are not believing in their potential. So believe in yourself. Then focus. A magician reverse lacks focus. So just because he has 4 elements on the table or the altar doesn't mean he has to use all 4 elements. Trust your intuition and use just what's necessary and then move forward. You've got this. So focus, believe, and take action. Pretty clear, and then you're going to see some movement. All right, let's move on to the weekend. A week from today, Saturday, we have the 6 of Wands. It's a successful card, but it's reversed. So a success card, the word success in and of itself is subjective, meaning that each of us has a different criteria that defines success. Some of you, it might be money, it might be attention, it might be personal growth, it could be altruistic, helping others, whatever it is. Realize that it's up to you to make up your own sort of idea of success. So a reversed success card like the 6 of Wands is about trying to please the masses rather than focusing on yourself. So as we look at the energy of Saturday, celebrate how far you've come. Look at what you want to do to feel that sense of fulfillment. Detach a little bit from family, school, society, and even friend groups that project their own expectations on you. And once you do that, you're going to start to make progress. You're probably further along than you think. You're just attached to some of these other things that are kind of like I have different pairs of glasses for different things. Like this is more for computer. I have a distance glass. So like you need to put on a different pair of glasses so you can see the world differently. And that will help you out. Kind of for those of you that wear glasses, you know what I mean. If you have different vision things, you wouldn't use the same pair for computers that you would to drive your car. So you're looking at this in the wrong perspective. You're too zoomed in or you're too zoomed out. Change your perspective and everything is going to make sense. All right. Now, as we take a look at the weekend, we got 2 cards here and they make sense to me actually. So the first card here is the Fool in reverse. Maybe one step backwards, but you're taking 2 steps forward. So there's still progress, but you're kind of feeling like, why is it not happening faster? Just keep moving. You're making more progress than you think. I like that we have like a little, possibly a leprechaun on this one. But typically the Fool is more like this one. And it's just about moving forward without that sense of baggage. The Fool only carries that little knapsack. So it's basically saying, I have an idea of what I want to do today. It may not turn out perfectly. There may be a side step. There may be a step back. But as long as I'm making some progress, that's all that matters. Okay. So don't focus so much on speed. Don't compare yourself too much to others. Just keep moving. And then we have the Judgment card, and it was upright. And the Judgment card is an opportunity to rise up from any challenge. It's a chance to open a new door. It's the penultimate or second to last card in the major arcana, which means that expansion is what's going to come through a week from this week. So you're really now ready to make something big happen, make a splash. So I like this one here because we've got the dolphin and the person rising up, and they're going to make a splash, make an impact, and not hold back. You know, December is an interesting month because we're in the midst of many holidays. The middle of the month, there is a chance, not just this week, but that second week we're looking out, like not just this week, but the week after that. That's the magic. That's the sweet spot, because then all of the end of the year holidays start to happen and everyone's tuned out. So this week and next, some magic can happen. And we're going to hit the highlights and lowlights and then move forward here. But I feel like you can make don't sleep through December, okay? At least the first 2 weeks, I want you to kind of like stay focused because a lot can happen. I'm working, you're working, we're making a lot of positive strides. Highlights of the week. Definitely, I would actually say both Monday and Tuesday. Tuesday is the highlight. The second big highlight would be next Sunday because we have Judgment and the Fool. Movement. I mean, you could almost, by the way, you can almost skip a card because in some decks, the Fool is 22. In most, it's 0. But anyway, this is the bookend, and between it is the World. So you could actually you could just sort of like open everything up and make a lot of progress. So these 2 days are amazing. The days you possibly are getting in your own head are Wednesday and Thursday. I think the rest of the week is very manageable. And all of the other cards, Page of Cups, Magician, and Six of Wands, in and of themselves are very, very positive. So just focus on belief and staying present, and I think that's going to help. We're going to now take a deeper dive into the elements. So this is going to help us look at fire, earth, air, and water. This is the only part of this that's going to be specific to signs. Let me just make a little bit of room on my table here, and then let me select a deck that I think would work for us. All right, we'll use this one. Fire, earth, air, and water. All right, let's begin with my fire signs: Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Here's what's coming through for you. So we have opening up to abundance here. The Four of Pentacles in the upright position is a limited card. It's basically holding on to something because it feels safe, because it's predictable, because it's there. The reversal of this is saying, you know what? It's not enough. It might have been enough before, but it's not enough right now. And so when it comes to important negotiations this week, where you might have conceded and said, all right, I'll do it. This week, you're more inclined to say, I'll do it if, or I need this before I can begin. And I encourage that. I think that would be really great. State that there is a lack. Because there is a lack with the Four of Pentacles. Someone isn't showing up the way that they need to. You can't force things, by the way, in a relationship. If someone comes forth with Four of Pentacles energy, they're not ready. Usually it's, so in a conversation, you may be revealing a lot, talking, sharing all that you can, and the other person's just kind of sitting there closed and not really commenting. It's not the right exchange. You're giving away too much information. Ask them some questions, see if you can connect with them. But sometimes people just can't give you what you want, and that's okay. That's a form of communication. No communication is communication. Or like, especially when you're trying to get someone to say yes, an RSVP or something, and it's crickets. Move on to something else because they're otherwise engaged. So sort of like focus your energy on where you are getting reciprocity and let go of things where people are less than inclined to connect with you, and don't sell yourself short, okay? That's why I read reversals. This is preferable in reverse because it shows that you're awakening to your self-worth, okay? So especially with expenditures too, like don't overspend, and when it comes to negotiations, don't sell yourself short. So that's the only thing with the Four of Pentacles. Okay, now let's move on to my earth signs. So we're going to look at Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. Nobody's going to spell it out for you but you. The Eight of Swords is what we want. Like, we want everything to be put in that magical book that I saw, but the truth of the matter is it's you. You're going to be the one that's going to make decisions this week. Now, if you need information, this card encourages investigation, I want to say inquisition, but there's a better word, just being inquisitive. So if somebody says something and it's vague, you could just say, I'm not completely clear on that. Can you please go into a little bit more detail, or can you repeat that? get what you need, and then also like see what else is being done out there. Get inspired, read, listen, watch any sort of materials that might inspire you. Because again, you may have tapped everything out. Think of like your old primary or elementary school library and then compare it to like, high school or whatever. There's a limited wealth of knowledge in that one school. You got to move up to a bigger library. So some of you might need to kind of look in a different direction because you've tapped a resource. Pay attention to things that you don't want to pay attention to. So if there's something that doesn't feel right in the body, if there's something financially or anything, this is not a financial card, but it's a card of sometimes ignoring things. So it's just saying, turn the spotlight on, manage that, then you can focus on the other stuff that matters. Okay. And that's the message here. But ultimately, you are the source. You are the one that can think through this. You've got this, but there's this block and you think that someone else needs to come in and tell you how to do it. Source is coming through and saying, you just have to kind of like trust your instincts on this one. Okay. All right, let's move to air signs. But first, let me take a drink. Okay. For my air signs, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Increased sensitivity. We've seen this. This was the card, another Cups card coming through for today. But this one is the Queen of Cups, so a little bit more control on the emotions. I would say here, some of you are dealing with a lot this week. There could be even a person in your life that is this Queen of Cups. So someone may need a lot emotionally from you. You may also just be dealing with too many things, kind of like we saw that Seven of Cups card here, where you're fighting all of those. So for all my air signs, it's kind of oscillating between these. Too many decisions or too many ideas, and then again, a lot that you're already processing, and then you add in like one more thing. And so what you need to kind of step into this week is discernment, leadership, and say, this is what I want. This doesn't work. No, I can't do one more thing. Really be in control of that and be very decisive, and that's going to help you. The sensitivity is good. I mean, you already have the capacity to see things from all angles, but your heart space is opening up. Love could be entering into your life this week. And the sooner you can kind of get your life kind of like grounded, the sooner you can embrace and connect with this energy. So you may find yourself in the throes of a new partnership, relationship, friendship this week, and it could just be like, oh my gosh, this is one more thing that I have to deal with, but it's a blessing too. So take it easy, be gentle with yourself. Definitely self-care is coming through for the air signs. So if you're overdue for any sort of, like a massage or something like that, do that for yourself this week. It's going to help, and that's going to help you help other people more. So self-care is the first and foremost thing that I would focus on. All right, let's go ahead now and move to water signs, Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. Busy, productive, very, very good week. Eight of Wands in the minor arcana is one of the most favorable cards for business and basically seeing things take flight, as we can see here. We also see leadership interspersed in those 8 wands. So we have this beautiful bird carrying one of the wands, kind of like a beacon, and then the rest of the wands following suit. So there definitely is opportunities in this particular card to not just kind of blend in with the crowd. Because 8 of Wands, I often see it as like it's almost like a marching band or something like that. You still need someone kind of leading or conducting or getting it all together. So you're that leader. You're the conductor this week. That's the best metaphor I can come up with. And you can work in concert, no pun intended, but you can work in concert with other people, and it can be a really, really good week. So you should be able to achieve most of the things that you want to get done. It's a great week in general for business and learning and collaboration. And you can step into the foreground maybe just because you're such a great team player, and there might be a chance for leadership. There's really nothing negative with this card that I can think of, except that you can get lost in the shuffle sometimes or feel like you're lost in the shuffle. So slow down, get some perspective a little bit. Raise your hand if you need help. All of those other 7 wands around you are people that you can tap into. So ask for help if you need it. All right, it's a great week overall. Let's now get into the special topic. And again, this week it is the messages from angels and guides, angels helping us see the positive, helping us see the silver lining, even if, or especially if we have some challenging cards. While I'm getting ready for the special topic, do me a favor, please. If you haven't already subscribed, it's 100% free. You can like the video once per video, so please hit the thumbs up and say hello, if you will, while I'm getting a deck of cards here. So I'm going to choose the one that is kind of calling to me. I have an idea of what I want to do. So I'll be right back. Let me just get that set up here. I have 2 decks and I'm going to let them decide. Okay, so I haven't used this one in a while. It's a little tricky to shuffle, so let's just see which deck wants to come through. The higher card wins. Okay, it's this one. All right, let's take a moment, close our eyes, focus. Reach out to your angels and guides or higher self and say, help me see what I got to see, all right? That's a very cool 5 of Swords. I've seen most of the cards in this deck, but there's probably still 1 or 2 that I haven't. Oops. Again, this is for everyone that is present today, whether you're watching live or later. You can rewatch this as the week progresses, because it'll probably make more sense as you go through that. Okay, let's get started. We're going to begin with the Catalyst card first and foremost, and let's see what this Catalyst has to say. We have Kuan Yin, enlightened action, choose compassion, move forward with grace. So here's the card upright. As the title here says, this is a chance for you to create the necessary change and movement in your life. So she was reversed, and it's basically encouraging you to lean into the compassion piece. So if this is reversed, you could be being, you might be too hard on yourself. You may be too hard on someone else. So it can be hard, I know. Try to see it from their perspective, or ask them, why a certain action was done. Like I said, I used to be in corporate environments. I used to work with art direction as well as production. But when I was in art direction and someone didn't listen to the direction, rather than hopping to a critical point of view, I might start it off by saying, I know we had discussed this possible path. I see you did this. Walk me through your creative process. Then they had a chance to defend themselves and maybe cover up for why they did it. But help me see. Maybe there was something. Maybe I didn't know that you talked to someone or got some client feedback, blah, blah, blah. So I'd always give them a chance to kind of fill me in. And then they'd be like, oh yeah, I forgot we were going to do that. That would be cool too. There's, it was just a chance to sort of it was a reality check without it being intense. So you could do that. You could just say, help me understand how we got here. What's going on? How are you also is a really great way to start any conversation. Is this a good time to talk? How are you? And then you can get into, how did we get here? And that's my advice on finding compassion when you're frustrated and someone isn't listening to you. But if people are just doing things that are kind of foolish or whatever, try to think like, what else is going on? What happened before that today? There might be a reason that the mood is the way that it is, even with someone that you truly connect with. So be compassionate and it will go a long way. Also, enter into something with assuming the best. I recently saw a comment where someone was angry that something was deleted. I'm like, I didn't delete it. Always assume that there could be something with like the system, or because YouTube actually just takes some comments sometimes and puts it into to be reviewed. So things like that, where you're just like, assume the best. Don't kind of go through things where it's like you're already angry. Just say, hey, did something happen here? Sometimes there's an inappropriate comment and I'll delete it, but it's just always just ask rather than assume. And I think that's key. Take the emotion out. I had a boss that used to say that. Just take the emotion out and get straight into what's going on. All right, let's now dig into the center of the spread. We have the Ace of Wands at the center, crossed by the Ten of Pentacles, which is really favorable. But let's start with the Ace of Wands. She was reversed here. They really don't have gender, but they put people on these cards. So I love the book. By the way, here's the book. Something's coming forth. But some of you might have closed the book. So you have a chance now to reopen a page in your life of something that you said, I wanted to do it. It didn't work. I'm never going to do that again. I feel like this is where the compassion could be. We all experience setbacks or failure. I don't really see things as failure if you can learn, grow, and take the lessons and do better next time. So this is saying, don't be so harsh. Open that up one more time. Try it again. It'll be different this time. We see a very fruitful result here with this Ace of Wands. Don't be closed-minded. I like the book metaphor on this one. It's working quite a bit for Wands here. So you want to have an open, clean slate when you're exploring things. And sometimes that notebook was filled up. The guide wanted to take that. They're like, there's nothing in here. Anyway, take 1 or 2 pages, but then let's start some new stuff. So I think this is a chance to turn a new page. So the first message from your angels and guides is it's time to turn a new page, or to give something a second shot with that sort of new perspective. So new perspective or a clean page, clean slate. And this is crossed by a very productive Ten of Pentacles. And this is cool because it shows that everything in due time, all of the rings of this tree contain whatever it is that you're looking for here. It takes time to grow. I love to grow plants and flowers. I'm always doing new stuff on the back porch. And what I love about it is I'll wait and I'll wait and I'll wait, and then all of a sudden something pushes through the ground. So this is the same thing that I think my advice on this is, don't put all of your energy into just one of these aces. Make sure that you have a couple of aces that you're putting things into. And we have it here today. Thank you, Spirit. I was hoping. We have the Ace of Swords and the Ace of Wands. So this is one thing, and I feel like this is a return to something that you've done, and this is something new, Ace of Swords. So this is you writing something new. This is you finishing something old. And one or both of these could take root. And that's what successful people do. They have multiple lines of revenue. And if you look at an really successful business person or company, they don't typically just sell one product. There may be that, special exception out there where it's just one product, but most companies have different products for different people. And finding that sweet spot of just enough is going to be what brings success. I saw contracts. There could be a new job. There could be marriage. Some of you might be walking toward or away from either or. But what we see here is the potential for something better on the horizon, if that's the case. Patience pays off. We see this older person here. Normally, he's in the throes of the focus is on the wisdom here. Usually, the grandpa is usually just kind of like an accessory on the side. So in this particular interpretation, we have kind of like the emperor and then all the things that he's been able to accomplish in his life here. Focus on the long game, folks, not just right here, right now. And that's the message for that. Okay, Ace of Swords, deep past. So you've already got what you need. And these are kind of like the elements on the magician's altar here. So it feels like you put into motion something already, even though this is maybe another path. You haven't done a lot with this. So the key to moving forward is speaking or acting. taking action, speaking up, writing it down. That's why he has the skeleton key here on this Ace of Swords. Again, gender's not normally a part of the aces. They're for everybody. I'm just kind of like speaking to what I see here. So this is your chance now to open a door and do something great. I love the cosmic energy on this card too. So sky's the limit. What are you doing this week to make something happen? If you're feeling uninspired, what are you doing to see what's out there? So this is a week to either investigate or to begin, to initiate. Investigate or initiate. So that's sort of like your mantra, and you can go between the two if you need to. Okay. Eight of Wands, taking flight. I'm seeing common themes this week, which I like. So what you really have a chance to do is I like this Eight of Wands because what it's focusing on is the ability to rise above. And once you start to create momentum and get out of a rut, then it's almost self-sustaining. So you just have to get into the air. You just have to get things moving. And now it's like easy sailing. So I feel like the midpoint of the week could offer that for you once you get out of your headspace, because we talked about that. So give yourself a chance. This could also be really connected to that Tuesday energy as well, where the star card comes and you just feel like you get this lift. So I would say wherever you can be most productive this week, put some energy into that right now whenever you're seeing this, because you could be watching this any day. And if you can get an easy win, it's going to create some wind beneath your sails. So a W-I-N helping you get W-I-N-D, like that, the wind beneath your sails. So that's my advice there. And it does look like, I know I was doing an elemental read earlier. Everybody has the potential to have the Eight of Wands, not just, 3 signs. So that was focused especially on them, but you all have that potential. What's causing challenges? I'm seeing lots and lots of common themes here, and I like the synchronicities. It's the Eight of Swords. So for the folks that got the Eight of Swords, it's just thinking beyond predetermined limits, saying, okay, at a certain point in my life, I need to have this, this, and this done. Well, that was a goal that you set maybe a while back. Now that you're where you're at, let's think about what else you can do. And if there's something you still need to do, like, just don't kind of think that was it. That ship has sailed. No, it hasn't. I want you to try it from a different angle, try it from a different perspective. And instead of thinking I can't, which is the cage around this card, think why can't I, or how can I? So use the why or the how to get out of the can't, and take off the contraction. Just how can I? And also like when, just kind of like look at it from a different perspective. That's what I'm getting here. Also, typically the Eight of Swords paints itself into this prison. So having less sort of expectations on yourself and just more openness to how things flow is going to be key. It's not all going to be obvious. It's a subtle energy this week that's going to lead you through. So definitely stay open-hearted, open-minded. And this one is the most connected to the angels and guides because we see the wings here. So free yourself from someone or something that also tries to make you clamp down a little bit. So if anyone's saying dim your light, be quiet, don't do this, they're trying to put you in the cage, but you're the bird that wants to fly free. So there you go. Now we see where this might be coming from a little bit. There's someone here around you, not everybody, but some of you, where it's like a subtle form of emotional sabotage, manipulation, or just they have a way of getting at your, even your just self-confidence. So here's this is a really cool Five of Swords. So here's somebody who's kind of working behind the scenes a bit, or they like getting like always Five of Swords energy. It has the potential to get a rise out of you. It hasn't done the work on itself. We can see that the heart here is patched up and empty. So a lot of times people are trying to bring you down to their level energetically, or trying to initiate some sort of a response so that they can feed off of that. So you're not going to let that happen right now. You're going to see through that. And this card is about spilling the spiritual tea. And that's what we're doing today. So you're just going to say that doesn't work, or I don't have time for this, or you're just not going to comment on that if someone's doing that. There could be also someone around you that when you achieve success says something that is a bit of a backhanded compliment. And it's either a compliment or it's not. If it's backhanded, it's passive aggressive. So you're going to walk away from that and just don't. It's not that you're not reacting, but you're not going to feed that reaction. So they want to see that you get a rise, and you're not going to basically do that. You're just going to sort of like move in a different direction, focus on something else, and you're not going to positively reinforce them with a reaction. Other than that was inappropriate, and you can move on. Again, with the self-care. So it's really, really important to tune into yourself this week, and also even ask yourself maybe how and why certain people or certain organizations or activities have a way of getting under your skin, and then just decide, do I still need that, right? I think that's really key, because if you walk away from someone or something and you feel like the wind has been taken out of you, like, and I've had that before, where it's like you feel almost as if you were hit by something and you can't catch your breath. That's not what you want to do. Or if you feel energetically zapped, it's not a good thing. That was one of my deciding factors in one of the jobs that I left in my corporate history. I sat there with another leader, and I was like, we received negative criticism from a higher up, and it just we felt terrible. And I said, is this how you feel all the time? And they just nodded, because they had to work with that other person. I'm like, why am I here? Why am I working with these people that just kind of like continue to reinforce that? So I left. It took me a little bit of time, but I left. So you don't have to make a decision immediately, but that's like the epiphany or a light bulb moment, is you deserve better than that. This week is about change and embracing change. She's embracing the Tower here. So Tower in the upright position. Sometimes, like if you were to read it upright, trying to cling on to something that's broken. But if you are looking at it reversed, you're the one you're shaking the tree. You're breaking something down to its essential pieces, creating a newer and firmer foundation. So I really like Tower reversed energy, because you have a heads up. You have the capacity to reclaim, rebuild, and reimagine. And that's really what this week is about. And that's the angelic interpretation of the Tower. It's a chance to uproot something and put something better in its place. So something doesn't serve you, you're going to work on it this week. Also, let's say you're thinking, Nicholas, my life is great right now. What are you talking about? It's a chance to renovate. It's a chance to expand. It's a chance to have another breakthrough. So you could just be able to go beyond an existing limit that you already had and just push through that. So open yourself up to have an epiphany this week and have a breakthrough in a very positive way as well. Okay. Looking at what's going on in the environment, we have the moon reversed. So the moon in reverse is letting go of fear, embracing what's necessary, and also focusing on your own power, embracing your own power. And this is very cool. This reminds me a little bit of Ursula here. But so yes, the moon is so powerful because it regulates this planet's tilt, rotation, tides. It's an important sort of like balancing energy. So I feel like some of you are reclaiming and finding your balance and your power this week, which is a good thing. If there's someone in your life that kind of tries to pull at you, there could be another satellite, and it could be this person. You're going to let them go in another direction and reclaim your own power and your own direction. Okay? What is it all leading up to as we're looking at the possibilities? We have the Three of Pentacles. It is reversed, but it is a positive card. In the upright position here, it would be learning, teamwork, and also recognition. And it's a chance to also share knowledge with others. Things aren't completely done this week, so there's a little bit of revision, a little bit of editing, a little bit of catch up to be done. Make sure that you're doing everything right the first time. That would be my advice. Don't rush to the finish line. When it's the final details, when I first moved in here, I could see that there was a little bit of tape from when they were painting that I had to pull off. Like, it's those little finishing details you want to make sure that aren't left behind. It didn't bother me. I just like, okay, there we go. But make sure that you've given yourself time. I was getting some groceries last night at Trader Joe's, and someone was talking about needing to write an essay, the person checking me out. I was like, because I had English as a major before. I said, just give it some time to like bake or marinate after you finished it, come back and read it one more time. Don't work all through the night and not give yourself enough time. She said she was going to do that. So same advice for you. Like if there's something important, give yourself enough time to proof it or to get someone else to proof it, because something might be left. I was thinking of the tape here as I was looking at that card. So you don't want to go out with that or it's kind of like you bought a great new outfit and you head out on a date and the tag is showing. So just let's get that one last thing off so that you can really make a splash this week, okay? Don't rush and don't sell yourself short of the time that you need. Now we have the Queen of Wands in the outcome, one of the best cards here in the minor arcana, especially when it comes to court cards. Now, the one thing that she can do in this moment is to amp up her light a little bit. She needs to be the luminary, the sort of lighthouse. But it feels like for some reason, again, overthinking is a common theme this week. So for those of you that are musicians, you probably know what I'm talking about. Same thing if you're a poet. Anybody that's creative, I think, has gone through this. Sometimes the initial download is the best. You'll hear artists talk about this a lot. I wrote that song in like 10 minutes. Or this poem was written in one draft. Sometimes you get it right the first time. Give yourself time to step back and look at it, but don't overthink. The magic is there. Save the initial draft. That's what I would say too, especially if you're writing something. There's some magic in that first draft. Go back to it if you need to and pull from it a little bit and make sure that you're not losing the source energy. The Queen of Wands is a boss. When she's reversed, she can come off a little too strong, just like the Queen of Swords. But there's a difference here. Queen of Swords will say something without thinking, like the edit switch is off. The Queen of Wands isn't even listening. She's just saying, do it. And so if you're around a Queen of Wands energy where they're not listening, that's hard to stomach. So you might have to find a different time or place to try to talk to them. If you're in a place where you just want someone to do it, remember how it feels to have that dismissal where you're not allowed to talk, and make sure that you're trying to be as open as you can. Also, this is a control card. So all of like a reverse queen is just basically taking care of herself. So focus on managing everything in your life, your business, your relationships, your finance, your health. And if there's someone around you that needs help in any or all of those areas, let them come to you. You're a great kind of like font of knowledge, but you don't want to kind of spend it on someone who's not open to it. And you don't want to come across in that sort of overly parental or nagging energy if someone isn't ready to hear it. Wait until they're ready. That's the key thing there. Okay, now let's expand this a little bit and look specifically in the areas of health, wealth, love, and destiny. We're going to begin with health, which is your mind, your body, and your spirit. For this particular space, we have the Earth Monkey. You can move mountains. I think I even said that exact phrase when I had today's card. I'm like, the King of Wands has the capacity to move mountains if he wants to. So a little echo of what I channeled yesterday is coming through here. So when it comes to health, you can make the necessary change that you want. You might even be able to surpass a doctor's expectation, or whatever, or family history. We see this a lot when a doctor's like says someone has 6 months to live and they live 2 or 3 years longer than that, or you're never going to walk again and they walk. So your will is not to be underestimated. And this is the one area where I'm very happy to have a Queen of Wands in reverse. She's like, I can do what I want to do. So in the area of health, she's right where she needs to be. But in other spaces, perhaps not. So be bold and be stubborn when it comes to your capacity to recover and to be happy. And monkeys are really intelligent. So get another opinion, do your research, figure that out. The one thing that you don't want to have to do, monkeys mimic sometimes, you don't have to kind of like, your life is not a facsimile of other people's life. So don't imitate, be unique, be bold, and move mountains if you need to when it comes to your life and your health. Okay, let me take another quick drink and then we'll look at the cards here and see what other messages for health are coming through. Okay, let's see here. Mental cognition. So when you're waking up in the morning, some of you this week may feel a little foggy. I'm feeling like this could be more from the people that you're hanging out with or the environment that you're in. The Ten of Pentacles can be your house too. So for some of you, it might be time to do a little bit of clearing and cleaning in the house. I love that we see so many beautiful plants on this. I have a bunch of orchids here. I have like a spider plant. I have a bunch of other plants in this room. I have plants outside. I love plants. They're really good for cleaning the air in your house. I've done research. Orchids are non-toxic for the dogs too, so I think of that. But get yourself a plant this week if you can, or some fresh cut flowers. It will change the energy of the space that you're in. My grandpa's the one in my family that was the like the botanist, and he always was gung-ho on having fresh cut flowers, living plants in the house, real plants, and it did change the energy and it did make you feel good, and it kind of like brightens up your day. All of those are real orchids. It helps. So treat yourself to a plant or a bouquet this week. You don't need it from someone else. Get it for yourself. Say you love your life, your energy, and have it be an offering, okay? I think this will help clear up some of the energy. There's something to do with floral healing that could assist you this week. Otherwise, clean your closet or clean your space, get the dust out. That will help as well. If it's been a while since you had an eye exam or a hearing exam, get that. 8 of Swords, 2 of Swords can often be those two areas. Don't ignore something. And again, if you're feeling like there's a better opinion out there, get a second or third opinion as needed. When I'm looking at you, it feels like right now there needs to be something more stable in your... I feel like some of you just have too much going on. The Tower showing up as you, it's a chance to make great change, but it can mean sometimes that your schedule is chaotic because we have 8 of Wands here. You could be ignoring self-care. You could just be ignoring something that could get bigger if you don't take care of it now. So you need to focus on you. And it's not like a selfish thing. It's basically a self-sustainability thing. Make sure that all of the things that we're going to look at here, health, wealth, love, and destiny, are where they need to be, and make any necessary changes for your life first and foremost, like I was saying, an introspective Queen of Wands. This can mean that some of you may be in the midst of a move. So a Tower card, when I'm looking at someone's life, can mean that you're staying at a friend or family member's house or an Airbnb, or have just signed the contract on a new home. And so this is just an acknowledgement that things are moving and things will start to move fast. Take care of yourself during that period, okay? This can also represent moving in with somebody, especially with the 10 of Pentacles, moving out, or it can also be like just a big upgrade in your life. When that happens, it's a little discombobulating. I had to move a lot the year before, whatever. It was just a lot. So yeah, it was last year. So it took me a while to land this place, and I had just a series of temporary places. And until I got settled, I didn't realize how much that scrambles your brain. So find a place where you can feel like I can sit here for a second and put down some roots. All right, that'll help you out. If you're really stressed out, this is more for women that are watching. It can also impede the sort of moon cycle. So you might have spotty or irregular period. And if you need to talk to your doctor, talk to your doctor. This also has to do with hydration and even just reproductive organs in men too. So take care of yourself. This is something we don't ever talk about, or people just don't talk about in general. So make sure if you need to go to like a urologist or OBGYN or anything of that nature, that you're taking care of that, okay? Otherwise, pretty manageable. Those are the only things that kind of popped up here. And again, being kind with yourself, being kind with others. All right, let's move on to the energy of wealth. So this is resources, life, purpose, career. It doesn't matter if you're working or not. We all have things like resources in our life. So that's basically what wealth embodies. You have the capacity to take power over this and make a difference when it comes to your connection with money and abundance. And maybe if I were to rename it, it just doesn't flow off the tongue. It is abundance. Wealth is abundance. So this is a chance to connect with that. This Queen of Wands energy very closely kind of connected in illustration as well. So take charge. It's a take charge sort of month, okay? By the way, thanks for everybody that's gifting memberships. I will say thanks afterwards, but I noticed Martina doing that right now, so thank you. Okay, let's focus now on specific messages with wealth. And let's look at our Pentacles cards first, which are really good. We have 10 of Pentacles, and then we have 3 of Pentacles. So I'm already feeling very positive about this, but you could be coming from a period where it was difficult to kind of like predict or hold on to things to get to a place where now things are a little bit more stable. So I am seeing a general stabilization of resources. Very important if you're signing a contract, especially because we're looking at these cards around the 3 of Pentacles, which can be a signature, 5 of Swords, and the Moon. There's something hidden in the details for some of you that you may not understand or may have skipped. I had the Justice card earlier. Get a lawyer to look at it, or get someone that understands it, or ask. So specifically for those, don't make an emotional signature decision on a contract. Whether you're selling a house, starting a job, signing a divorce paper, signing a marriage, prenuptial, whatever you're doing, get another person to look at it to make sure that you've understood everything that's in front of you. Mainly because of that Moon card right beneath it. And it's in the environment. So that's the only thing that I'm seeing there for the wealth. Now let's, for contracts, I should say. Now let's look at some other things. There's some untapped potential. So things are better than they look with both the 8 and the 9 of Swords. It's just a matter of shifting perspective. Get a bird's eye view, as we see here with the 8 of Wands. You can create your own stuff here, as we see with the Ace of Swords. This is a innovation writing card. This is also taking this idea and doing something about it. This is stuck and this is unstuck. So speak it, write it, or act it into reality. The potential right now is for growth and expansion. A couple of minor things, but I think otherwise it's pretty good energy right now. You may need to completely shake things up and try something that's absolutely outside of your comfort zone. I was listening to someone, I'm trying to think if it was on NPR the other day, it might have been, a producer that was saying, like, when people say you can't do that, that's exactly where they put the energy when it comes to like music or something like that. And I agree. If it's something that hasn't been tried or is unusual, typically that has a way of breaking through or standing out, and give yourself a chance to kind of get out of those old ways of thinking. And most importantly here, if there have been any setbacks, again, just be kind with yourself and think, all right, what am I going to do next, and what am I going to do now? All right. I think we've covered everything with respect to wealth. Big ideas, light bulb moments are coming through here with this Queen of Wands energy here. So allow yourself to be able to explore new things. Let's move now to love and relationships. We have the Tiger in reverse. So slowing things down a bit, especially if you feel like they're moving too fast. Also remembering that just like the different stripes that we see on this tiger, each of us has our own, and I'm wearing stripes here as well today. Your stripes are your own, so you don't have to change to please other people, especially, again, friends, family, etc. I think that for some of you that may have been focusing so much on something happening, when it actually does, let's say if you're looking for love, when it finally comes in, there is this sense of, can this really be? Am I really worth it? When's something going to go wrong, etc. Let's start to just embrace when something goes right and not worry about there, because there is some fear and shadow energy here that really doesn't need to be here. So if things are going in the right direction, great. Let's break this down. Let's start off with those in a relationship first. I like that we have the 10 of Pentacles here right on top of 2 great energies as well. So the only thing with the Ace of Wands in reverse is it can show that vitality. I would even say sometimes like intimacy might not be where it needs to be. The good thing though is communication is. So when it comes to the things that bring you closer to your partner, speak up. And let them know what you want more of or less of, and what you feel like might be lacking there. So just keep those lines of communication open, because the bond seems pretty strong here. I think that the biggest challenge in existing relationships is how busy things are and feeling like you're not being acknowledged. So slowing down long enough to say, I see you, I appreciate you, I miss you, I wish there was more of this or that. Like just that kind of communication is key. Secrets have a way of coming out. The cool thing here, though, is I feel like some of you are starting to, This can be the inner saboteur. This can also be a saboteur in the environment because that's how they're showing up. Speak up and really remember that you should have each other's backs. And if that person tries to come in, it's almost like a hidden Three of Cups. You're just going to push that to the side and focus on each other. There's some big changes going on. If you can navigate the changes together, it can be exciting. If you feel like you have to hold on to what was, it's not going to work. So it feels like the relationship is headed in a new direction. You're either embracing the new direction or you're living in the past. And that's the big thing that we're seeing here with existing relationships. Again, the angelic interpretation of this would be to embrace the change and work on that change together. Okay, let me see if there's anything else here that we want to look at. I think that's it. Again, the angelic energy here would be to acknowledge and to support one another as well. Focusing now on those looking for love. Can you find it? Yes, you can. I think that right now, the first thing that you need to do is to sort out, there's a lot happening, but why is it happening? So direction. Do you like where you're at? And this can be your current job, if you're in a relationship but looking for a different relationship because you're not happy, deal with that first. But there's something in your life, this can be your health. Whatever is out of balance needs to come into balance. Also, this is like careful what you wish for because that energy could rush in. We have water energy right around you. There could be a water sign. We have water sign here as well. When that energy comes rushing in, it can be a lot fast. So yes, I think you can manifest love, but it feels like there's a little bit of work to do on balancing your life and feeling like the direction is the right one for you. And once you do that, good stuff. We also see a fire sign here in the future. If you're single and happy or retired and like widowed and just not focusing so much on all of that energy, then what I'm seeing right now is, for many of you, a decision here of, it's kind of like reclamation of power and it's personal healing. Some of you may have actually just lost someone in your life. So maybe lost a partner, or maybe you are dealing with this new chapter where you're not so attached to material things like the Ten of Pentacles. And so you're focusing instead on building something new. Remember what I said, it's a new page. You were never done learning, we're never done experiencing. So think about something that you never have tried before and try it. Think about something that someone told you couldn't do, and as a way of sort of like proving them wrong and experiencing some joy in the process, do it. This is a chance to be a little bit more unedited. And one area that this is coming through, a place where you could find inspiration, is through like literature, maybe reading about someone else's experiences or recording your own, making a new journal, and kind of like talking about your experiences, because this can be ultimately like curriculum teaching or publication. So lots of cool things coming through. And you may even be seeking out like a new mentor, because we can learn at any age. So your journey is continuing is what I would say. It's kind of up to you here, but I definitely get reclamation of power and like a chance to just do something uncharted, unexpected. And maybe it's kind of fun because people are like thinking, are you crazy? What are you doing? You're like, no, I'm more grounded now than ever. So give it a shot. Let's look at destiny. We have the Emperor coming through here, the Lord. Take charge with authority. So in tarot, this would be like the Emperor or Empress. I love all of the vines growing around him. This is a chance for a lot of abundance, a lot of movement, and it's up to you. Very closely connected to what I was talking about in channeled messages, the weekly forecast, all of that. You have the answer. You have the key. We actually see you holding the key here. So it's just your chance in this moment to really connect with confidence and being bold and just going for it. And I hope you can do that in this moment. All right, let's we're going to do 2 cards here, angels and guides, just to kind of help us break this down and see if there's anything that we missed. So this kind of falls under the big idea, but there's going to be 2 big ideas here. So let's take a look here. 1 for angels, 1 for guides. Higher messages, questions that you wouldn't ask or things that you wouldn't focus on, but you need to be focusing on. We'll start first with angels, and then we'll look at guides. Okay. So very close connection here in the angelic message here. So it's a King of Pentacles. It's reversed. I mean, it reminds me a lot of this, the Lord energy here. But the King of Pentacles in reverse is saying, I'm going to do this for my betterment. I'm going to learn something new. I'm going to get a better handle on my money. I'm going to focus on self-care, spoiling myself a little bit, nurturing myself a little bit. This is the paternal or the papa card here in tarot. The Queen of Pentacles would be like the mother card in the minor arcana. So this is really about taking care of yourself. And also putting some limits on how much and how often you give to others. So the angels are saying, don't let the sort of battery or the tank go on empty. Recharge. This is a chance to recharge and get on top of things. You already have the potential to do more than you think, but some of you might be constantly in that delivery mode or that support mode. And once you take a step back, that's going to help you out. Okay. Focusing now on the guides, we have the 8 of Pentacles that came through. In this moment in time, you have the potential right now. This is a learning card, by the way. This is apprenticeship, and the 3 of Pentacles is mastery. So the mastery card came up in opportunities. And so whatever you put energetically into learning or building, it's going to pay off. I love the metamorphosis energy here. We have what looks like a butterfly, maybe some moths as well. So change and growth and development happen in processes, and everybody spends a different amount of time in those different phases. There's the caterpillar phase where there's consumption, absorption. And I would actually even say that's more of where you're at. You might be painting the butterfly, but the 8 of Pentacles would be the caterpillar. The 3 of Pentacles would be the butterfly. So many of you are in that absorbing phase right now. And then there's the chrysalis, which is in between all of that. And then there's the butterfly or the cocoon if it's a moth. So give yourself time. You can't rush your creative process, your growth process. I think that's the big message, actually, to go even higher. Take as much time as you want. And recently on that project that I was talking about, I was reaching out to someone that I was working with, and I'm like, you know what? I'm either going to do this right or I'm not going to do it at all. And then I was like, well, I'm definitely going to do it. So I'm going to do it right. And then that was all I needed to do, was just kind of like reframe it. I'm not going to go for less. I really want to make sure that if I do something, it's high quality. That's always been a part of me, but I was for a moment thinking, well, maybe I could just do this. And I thought, no, this is not something where we compromise. So if it's something you're truly passionate about, do not compromise. Go for it, okay? Especially if it's a representation of your creativity. Before we get into the next phase here, we're going to focus on, we're going to do final question in a second and a meditation, but do me a favor and subscribe if you're new. Hit that bell icon. Also, give me a like if you haven't already. And now we're going to get into the meditation. This will only take a couple of moments, so I hope you stick around. And then as a reward, we'll look at one last question. So if you are looking at something in your life and you're like, Nicholas, I really need clarity on this. Good. Hold it. We'll look at it in a second and I'll help you out. All right. Let's get ready for the meditation today. I really like what we were just talking about. So we're going to imagine that we're breaking free of the chrysalis or the cocoon. Cocoons are easier to see. So if you would please close your eyes for a moment, we're going to build the cocoon and we're going to break free of the cocoon. All right, so we'll focus on the energy of the breath first, and then we'll paint a picture, and then we'll listen to the sound bath. All right, so eyes closed, take a nice deep inhale. Hold that for a second, sit up tall, move your shoulders forward and back, and now think of something that you don't need in your life, let it go. Good. With the next breath, I want you to imagine that you are starting to call in light and energy. See the sun or the moon, I don't mind, whichever source you see, but like imagine that you could look out the window and see it, and each breath that you take, a ribbon of light starts to wrap around your body, and it's not something that makes you feel uncomfortable. It's almost like a nice warm blanket that just feels right. So keep breathing until you build these concentric rings around your body, this beautiful light cocoon. And I'd like you to give yourself permission as you're breathing and creating this cocoon of light and energy to just imagine what it is that you want to do next, what you want to see movement on this week. As I play the singing bowl here, just see that cocoon getting bigger, brighter, and then at the very end, we're going to break free of the cocoon. So just pull the light around you. This is a sustaining and a supporting force, and then we'll allow you to have your wings. Feeling support from the light, feeling support from the angels, from your guides, even imagining perhaps that the angels are behind you with their wings, supporting you in this moment of growth and movement. This is your chance now to release the cocoon, to push your arms out a little bit and stretch. Imagine that as you're doing that, you can see these beautiful wings, allowing you now to fly through, soar through the next moment of your life with a sense of ease and grace, and allow it to be easy sailing. Take one last deep breath, if you will. Gently open your eyes. See yourself as that resplendent butterfly, and allow yourself to, like I said, easy sailing, drift into the next possibility without struggle. Open your eyes, please, if you have not already. And we're going to take a look now at the final card for today. And this is based on your final question. Hold that question in your heart and mind. Don't type it out. Just focus on it. Let me go ahead now and shuffle the deck. And let's see the answer to that final question. Okay, survival is what we see here with this. We have the Nine of Wands. And this is a beautiful Nine of Wands. We see someone here who has been cut a few times by that rose bush, but she is still standing. And now we see the fruits of that perseverance, the blossom here. So many of you right now are being encouraged not to give up on something that matters most to you. The Nine of Wands typically has a bandage around the forehead. And so what happens sometimes is this inner sense of kind of like, again, we talked about overthinking, but it can be even more than that for some of you. This could be a pressure headache. It could be a point where someone's irritating or agitating you, so you kind of like, it just gets into your head. So I want you to breathe, push that out, and remember, you are strong enough to do this on your own. You don't need that person's approval. We don't need to listen to those thoughts anymore. We're going to focus now on the blossom that wants to bloom. So you are the rose that's opening up. This is your moment to shine. We also have the Queen of Wands here leading the way. Listen to her, follow her. We have all the beautiful sort of kind of like fireflies around her as well. So in this moment in time, it's about persevering, practicing good self-care, tuning out the noise, and understanding that you've got this. I really do feel like being in the intuitive flow is the number one thing that I've picked up on in this particular weekly forecast. So allowing the heart and the third eye to help you get past the intrusive thoughts that you might be having this week. And then just to take care of yourself and meditate and rest. And if there are any pains or aches and pains in the body, dealing with those, knowing that you have the potential this week, thanks to the monkey, to push through this and surprise yourself with your capacity to recover. Even if it takes a few times, the Nine of Wands succeeds, and it's one away from completion, okay? So don't give up. What a beautiful and enlightening reading. I always like it when we kind of tap into angelic energy, because it always has a silver lining. And that's the silver lining here, is you've got this. All right, folks, I need a drink as we're doing this. Let me take another drink of water here. So this is your chance right now to show some support if you can. I know some of you watch me on a TV. I tend to watch my YouTube stuff on TV or iPad. So if you want to like it later on your mobile device, that's fine. Give me a follow on social media as well. I'm on all major platforms. It's my first and last name together. No extra spelling. So at Nicholas Ashbaugh everywhere. You can go to my website as well. By the way, there's a deck tab at the very top navigation if you want to see some of the tarot decks that I use. One of these days I'll get my oracle decks up there. There's just more, but you can at least see those if you liked anything that you saw today. A reminder, by the way, I don't give private readings. I don't use direct messages. Anyone that offers one is not me. I typically do new videos every Monday, Thursday, and Friday. By the way, Monday I may have to reschedule because I have an event in the afternoon, so I might do it this week like Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, but I'll always announce that on the community tab, so you can check that out for information. By the way, I do daily readings as well, so check those out if you've never seen them. All right, I'm going to give a little bit of gratitude back as soon as I take my drink here and say thanks to everybody. It's a lot of talking, folks. So thank you just for showing up. I don't care when you watch this, how you watch this. I'm just glad that you're here. And whether you gave back or you're just kind of like chilling out and watching passively, that's fine with me too. I'm here however you need me, and I'm glad that you're a part of this. I want to give special thanks back to those who gave back with a super sticker, super thanks, or a membership. And let's begin, folks. I'm going to begin by welcoming all the new members, and then I'll see if I can acknowledge those that gifted some memberships as well. So the newest and returning members that today I see activity on, here's what we go. Here's what I see. Wow, there was a lot today, so thank you. I know a lot of these are gifted. Brian, Raluca, Annabella, Rach, or all the Rach, Leonie, Conception, Amy, White Buffalo, Lizzie, LC, Sylvia, Kimberly, Buff Bay, Nadia, Brady, let's see, Teperu, I hope it is. I hope I said that correctly. Fotini, P, Lone Wolf, Sarika, Sag Leo, Gioia, I hope that is, Little Red Wolf, Catherine, Aqualian, Sandy, B. Deidre, Trisha, Sarah, Shay, and Raven or Raven. All right, so those are all the newer returning members. Apologies for any mispronunciations. I have to kind of just go fast and trust. Give me a moment here to see if I can kind of track down those that gave back in gifting memberships today. So let's see. Mitch, thank you for gifting 5 memberships. Lone Wolf, welcome. I can see you're a new one that joined today. Let's see. Thank you, Liz, for being a member for 24 months and for gifting 5 memberships today. Let's see, Colette, thank you for gifting 5 memberships. I appreciate that. And I think there was one other one that I saw and I called out in real time. I can't always see it. If I missed anybody, maybe Dakota can say thanks as well. I'll see it when I go on replay. I'll scroll up on this side one as well. Also, I see some other member anniversaries here, Monica and Deborah. Thank you for your support. All right, give me a moment to say thanks to the super stickers, and then if I have a chance and missed any, I will say thanks to anybody else that I can see. All right, super stickers, super chat. Thank you guys. By the way, this helps me buy new decks. I'm going to probably go on a shopping spree and get some new ones, so thank you for that. Catherine, Linnea, I think it is Lenina. I hope it is. PIM, Melinda, and Fotini. Thank you guys for what you offered today. I appreciate that. And one last chance here. I'm going to see if I missed anybody on the side here. Martina, yes, 10 memberships. Thank you. I knew I saw that. And I think that was everything. She didn't show up on the other ones, but I knew I saw the 10. That was a lot of gifted memberships. What a great holiday gift. I've started to do some new things with the gifted memberships, by the way, which is basically giving you a chance to ask some questions in my bonus readings. I just did a bonus one last Friday, so you can check that out on the main channel page. And I might do some Q&A ones here in the future. So more to come. I'm trying to give back a little bit to the members because you guys make this all possible. All right, everybody, that's it for today. I hope to see you soon. Wishing you a very happy December. Good to see you. And I'll be back here again next Sunday. So until then, take special care of yourselves. Much love and light. And again, have a great day, everybody. Thank you.